Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about democracy. Look, democracy sounds very simple and it's a very, you would say it's a very simple topic and does not need much discussion. But such kind of topics sounds very simple, but we have a very shallow knowledge about such kind of topics. So today we are going to understand democracy in a much holistical manner. We will understand each and every aspect of democracy, and we must have knowledge about democracy. Why? Because we live in world largest democratic country, India. So, and we all are much proud of being a part of such a wonderful, such a beautiful democratic country. And recently, world's biggest general election concluded in May 2024. So, you must have full knowledge about democracy. So, at the outset, let me make this clarify that I am not going to give you very hard, fast facts, figures. I am going to just give you a basic understanding of democracy. Facts, figures are readily available in the internet. You can search, you can find out, check it out, and get those facts and figure. And you can note down from Google. But I'm going to give you the basic understanding of democracy. How does it function? What are its main pillars? What are the benefits of democracy? How we can strengthen our democracy, make it more robust? What we can do at our end, and at last we would conclude, and that's how we are going to discuss this topic. So let's come to the very basic point, that what is democracy actually. So democracy is a kind of setup of government where people exercise their power by voting. Anyone who is above 18 can exercise his or her power by vote. You have the full right to vote. If you are above 18, you can select your representative, and those representative further represent your constituency in the parliament at union level and in the legislative assembly at state level. And this democracy basically, is roughly divided into two parts: the direct democracy and indirect democracy. So this direct democracy is not a dominant form of democracy. This direct democracy could exist at a local level, where people directly participate in policy making. They don't elect their representative, they directly participate in policy making. But at union level, at a state level in our country, we have indirect form of democracy. How What is this indirect form of democracy? Where people elect their representative by voting, and those representative further represent the people of their constituency in parliament and in legislative assembly. So parliament, basically I'm talking about union government at union level, and legislative assembly exists at state level. So people elect their representative, and it's a duty of those elected representative to represent their constituency in the parliament, in the legislative assembly, and they raise their voice there. They raise their issues, what kind of issues people of their constituency are facing. So this is basically indirect form of democracy. So so far we have got a layman understanding of this democracy. So let's further go to pillars of our democracy. So there are basically four pillars of our democracy. The first one is legislatives. So who are these legislatives? The representative. As I said, we elect our representative, and they further represent us in the parliament. So these elected MLAs, MPs, they are solely responsible to make new policies, make new laws. They propose new bill in the parliament, and then after getting signed from the president, it become law for our country. So these legislative form, make new bills, make new amendments in the parliament, in the legislative assembly. Now let's come to the second pillar of our democracy, that is executives. So what is the role of these executives? The bill, um, those are passed by the legislatures, is now the responsibility of executives, to execute those bills. Suppose if I pass this particular law in the parliament, So how to make that law, effective at the grassroots level, how to execute that will, it's a responsibility of executives, all IAS, IPS, and all civil servant. These are all executives. It's their responsibility, to execute the enacted laws at the grassroots levels. They further have to make some policies, to execute those bills at the bottom of the pyramid. So this is the role of executive. Now come to the third pillar, that is judiciary. So this third pillar is, I would say, the heart and soul of our democracy, judiciary. Now let's talk about what is the role of this judiciary. So this judiciary actually make these executive and legislative accountable for their deeds. Whatever the policies they are framing, so judiciary make them accountable whether these policies, these bills are really really in the ambit of law. um, they Judiciary is a safeguardian of our personal and personal liberties. We all have fundamental rights, so it's a duty of this um, judiciary to see whether there is any infringement to our personal liberties or not. If there is a infringement, then obviously they will intervene and they will scrap and abolish such kind of laws. For example, recently there was electoral bill, uh, you know uh, questioned by the judiciary, and later asked the central government to release data, because you can't take away our fundamental rights, to right to information and such kind of basic rights, and basically fundamental rights. So yeah, now let's come to the fourth pillar, that is free independent media. So media plays a very vital role in our democracy, and if media is strong, then it's a duty of our media to ask tough questions to the government. And if they ask question, make government accountable, then our democracy functions perfectly smoothly, and for the welfare of people. So media plays a very vital, much pivotal role in a strong democracy. So media should be unbiased, should be free from all political ill wills. Then media will function freely. Uh, for a strong democracy, strong media, much vocal media who could amplify the voice of poor, will definitely thrive our democracy. So media must be independent, unbiased, free, totally independent from political hands, should be completely unshackled from each and every aspect, politically or from autocrats. Media should be free. Then media can function, well for the democracy. So these are basically four pillars of democracy. So now let's talk about some of the benefits of democracy. The first and the obvious benefit that we all know about the democracy is, in a democratic form of government, we exercise fundamental rights. We have six fundamental rights: right to freedom, right to religion, we can exercise any religion; right to against any sort of exploitation; right to life and liberty; right or to equality; and right to constitutional remedies. This is the most important right, that right to constitutional remedies. If we see that, if my fundamental rights are being taken away from me, then you can directly knock the doors of Supreme Court under Article 32. You can claim that my rights are at stake, and now judiciary has to intervene. Then obviously you can, judiciary will safeguard your liberties. So yes, this is the main benefit of democratic form of government. Another benefit is that, you can make government accountable at every point. If you see that particular policy is actually not good for us, then you can ask question to the government and make government accountable. that this thing is not good for us, and good for the society, good for the nation, good for the state. Another benefit is that you can protest in a democratic setup. Look at the recent example, farmer protest where the government retreated and finally withdrew all three farm laws. So you can protest, you can make your demands, um, make your demands to the government. You can make government again accountable. You can um, ask tough questions to the government. You can protest, and you can make your voice heard. So yeah, this is also the great benefit from the democratic setup. And another benefit, if I talk about financial benefit, then in a democratic form of government, foreign investor uh, show more confidence. They invest more in a democratic form of government. If there is a complete democracy in any country, then it boosts the confidence of investors. Investor look for a long term. If they see any sort of instability in any country, then uh, their confidence lag. So in a democratic setup, they invest in the form of FDIs, foreign direct investment. So this is also one of the benefit from the democratic setup. Now let's further go, talk about how we can strengthen our democracy. So look, it's a responsibility of each and every individual to make efforts to make our democracy more robust, more sound, and more inclusive. So how we can do that? Participating more and more uh, while voting. We should elect our representative meticulously. We should do our research work. We should look the past background of our this candidate. You have this power to vote. So you can make our democracy more robust by this power only. Another thing that you can do is making awareness. You should aware people that we live in democracy, but are the benefits of these democracy. So people will understand that yes, we are in this democratic setup, and we should vote. We should uh, um, vote freely. Not to get influenced by another person, not to get much influence from social media. Social media is now totally making people, putting people in a wrong notion. Sometimes if any false news propagate on social media, so people get trapped in social media. So you can educate those people, you can educate people that not to believe from any source of information. If that is not authenticated, then please don't believe in such kind of news, especially from WhatsApp University. So yes, these are some of the step. And now let's talk about the last part, that is, if there is no democracy, then what kind of other form of government exists? Look, there are autocratic form of government where autocrats who, like for example, Russia, China, they have the full power. Single man having the full power, they can exercise unlimited tenure in the office. So yes, autocratic system of government is also there. Some people argue that this autocratic system is much good. Look at China, Russia, both are developed countries. So it's a good setup where you just pass a single law, no protest, no objection, nothing, just implement that law. And if everything goes well, country will become developed country. So yes, you can argue that, but that's your part, to form opinion which type of government is good. And another form of government is monarchy. In monarchy, where monarch system exists. Look at Britain, where president is still a monarch, and that's a constitutional monarchy. Their constitution is much different from India. So yes, uh, you can see that example also. So yes, so far we have discussed about this democracy in a much elucidated way. I hope you got much understanding about the democracy. So in the concluding part, I would say that uh, at last we would say that democracy form of government is the best form of government, and our country India is the world largest democratic country, and USA, which is the oldest democratic country in the world. Look recently what is happening there, polarization between Democrats, Republicans. So these kind of things are happening there in the democracy. You can see in USA like presidential form of uh, debate, where debate happens. You can easily form your opinion that which side is better, who is making false claim, who is actually uh, has much clear agenda. So yes, in our democratic system, actually the power lies um, in the hands of people, citizens of that particular country. So yes, this is the best system. And at last, I can recall the golden words of Abraham Lincoln, that for the people, by the people, and to the people. So in democracy, you elect your government, you select your government, and then that government form policies for you. And if you don't like the government, you have the full power to um, you know mm, uh, change the regime by exercising your vote. So um, power must reside in the hands of people. And if that thing is happen, then obviously government somehow feel much accountable to the people of our country or any democratic country. So yes, with this I am going to end this video. Thank you for your patience for listening this long video. So yes, thank